Okay, we're live. How's it going? How is everybody doing? I got a treat for you today. All right. That's better, right? Okay, you guys can hear me. I hope. I hope everything's good because just now I set it up. I got to surrender if this don't work. But just now I did my darndest to make sure that right now my brand new Satisfactory video is dropping right now. And you guys are in for a treat because right now I'm going to get right into it and I'm going to share the video with you. We're going to have kind of a little premiere. You guys okay with that? Those of you that are watching. So I just got to make sure, I got to make sure everything's good. So this thing, is it frozen? Let me make sure I can take this off. Give it a couple seconds. I'm going to actually get this live and refresh it to make sure that nothing stupid is going on. No. I'm sure something stupid will happen, but okay, there we go. It's up. All right, guys. So, all right, you guys are going to be some of the first people to see this video. I hope you enjoy it. This is a polished video. Now after the video, we're going to have the stream. I'm actually going to do the stream part of it. So don't go anywhere. If you come in here and we're watching this together, you know it's a premiere. I'm just doing the premiere on the stream. So I hope you guys are okay. If you don't like it, please leave me a comment. Please say something in the chat. Be like, rabble. You guys are within your rights to do that. Let me know if there's a rabble. You guys are if you guys don't like this, please let me know. I won't do it again. I swear. But if you like this, please let me know also, and I will continue to do it. So I leave it up to you guys. I want your feedback. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to work really hard on that this month. Shutting up when I need to. All right, let's begin. Let's punch it and see what happens. Does it work? Nope. Okay. Hold on. Next try. Okay. Slow. I do things slower too. Okay. Select it and hit play and see what happens. Got biofuel started. In this video, we're going to make it so that we never have to worry about biofuel again for the rest of the game. By building this massive factory. This will be our first time that we built a factory on foundations, and I show you a taste, just a taste of the power of factory building in Satisfactory. Looks like our current biofuel setup is out of fuel. So we're going to go ahead and store our leaves in this storage container here. And instead of wasting our fuel on this setup, we're just going to make a new setup and put the fuel in there. The first step here is clearing a place for our foundations, which we will need to put down first before we do anything else. Now, you can press the control key and click multiple objects before you actually dismantle to chain dismantle everything like I just did there. Be very careful with this though, obviously, and be very careful where you point your cursor, especially when you're holding the control button while you do this. And you may not want to do that at all. You may want to be very selective with it like I just was. Because one of the things that could happen is that you could snip a power line in the distance or some other kind of structure and not notice it, and next thing you know, your entire factory isn't working and you have no idea why, and it takes you hours to find out what you deleted. So again, be very, very careful with this feature. Honest rule of thumb, almost never want to use this feature with your reticle pointed out in the distance. I wouldn't do it. At last, we are ready to place our first foundation. Ideally, you want 4 meters to start with. Make sure you press and hold Control to snap to the grid. What this does is it makes it so that this is aligned with the rest of the map. If you don't do this, anything you build that's separate from what you place down will never line up, and you will never be able to connect it to your base properly without it looking like crap. Ever play Ark? Ark is a perfect example of this. If you try to connect two separate bases to each other, it's almost impossible to do. Unless they changed it for some reason. Or they have this feature and I didn't know it. I have no idea. I have not played Ark in years. I was just using it as an example. But yes, this does have that annoying mechanic, and that's how you get around it. You make sure the first foundation you ever place in this game is snapped to grid, so you do not have that problem and that big headache. And this is where it starts, guys. By the way, you may have been noticing that I've been placing these foundations really fast. I'm about to show you how. This is the zoop function. You press the R key, or whatever the hotkey is in your game, to cycle through this. You can go from vertical, default, which is one foundation at a time, and very slow I might add, or the zoop function, which I don't know why they call it zoop, but they do, which is basically click and drag a line of foundations out from you. You'll get the hang of this as you keep doing this, to the point to where it's almost effortless for you to make lots of foundations like I just did. We're going to start off by placing a container for leaves and a container for wood, and make sure they stay separate. Man, wouldn't it be nice if we had signs for these things? I can just imagine throwing leaves in the wrong container, or putting wood in the right container when it's supposed to be on the left, and so on and so on. Fear not, dear viewer, I have a solution for you. Watch this. We will split a stack of one of each resource. One wood, and one leaf, and put it in front of each container. So we'll place our wood on the left here, and then our leaf on the right in front of the storage box, so there's no confusion. And don't worry, these will never disappear as long as you don't pick them up. By the way, guys, I just want to say that while I was filming this, I was in a lot of BS. I was having some stressful stuff happening behind the scenes, and I'm very surprised that I sounded this good. I'm actually pretty... I mean, I may get some haters, that's fine, and maybe you guys don't see it that way, but I really this is kind of one of the few videos I've made where I actually am kind of proud of it. I'm proud of how I was able to push through what I was pushing through while I made this video and sound at least good, you know? I'm still not like DJ status. I don't think I would be. Honestly, I don't think that's me, man. I'm just not a guy that can just turn my emotions off, like, you know, and just have the same tone of voice, the same, you know, I just don't, I'm not like that, man. I have nothing against that. Some of my favorite, I have my favorite for radio personalities. You know, everyone does that in radio. Everybody does that. You know, it's a professional, highly professional thing. But it is just, I think it's just above my pay grade, guys. I think it's just not in my skill set. I mean, I can do it some of the time, you know, not show any emotional, you know, tells in my voice, so to speak. Like, okay, when you have a DJ at a music concert or at a club or whatever, you know, they sound the same all the time, no matter how they feel, no matter how upset they are. I'm not that guy. I'm just really not. I don't say it's on, I wear it on my sleeve, but you know how I am, right? I guess what I aim to do instead of that is to just kind of, no matter what, keep it as professional as I can and do my best. And if it is bleeding through too much or it's too obvious, I do try to address it and let you guys know, hey man, I'm not having my best day today. And then maybe, of course, as things get better, you know, on the channel and my health improves more and more, which it has been, I will be able to step gradually and naturally into that role more and more, to where nothing phases me. It actually just doesn't faze me. So I'm always sounding the same unless it's appropriate for me to sound otherwise. And that's actually kind of what I want. I do kind of want to exhibit a full range of emotion to an extent in my videos. That's kind of my goal more than just sounding like your classic DJ with the smooth voice all the time and it never changes. I don't think that's what I want to do, but like I said, I'm young here in this space, so I'm sure I may have a different perspective on that later. Clearly marking where you're supposed to throw your leaves or your wood, or telling other people where they should put their leaves and their wood, till you can get quartz and get signs. Why Coffee Stain waited till quartz to let you have signs? I have no idea. But that's the way the game is, right? Don't ask questions, just consume product. And now we're going to set up splitters after the storage boxes for leaves and then one for just wood biomass. And we'll have them on their own separate lines. The leaf biomass will just be support biomass. The main biomass that's going to fuel our biofuel. By the way, I know that quip I just made. To be honest, I actually really like Coffee Stain. You're going to hear me talk about that later. They did a really good job with this game. I just want to say that up front. So this is, I guess, what I'm feeling here is I kind of want to do a creator commentary here as a release this to kind of give you guys a little special treat for being dedicated members of my stream and kind of encourage you guys to hop on my stream more when I have them. I know I've been out for a few days. I don't know if you guys are aware what happened, but I had a wrist injury. Yeah, my right hand. The worst place I could have an injury. I think I told you the other day, yes, spare me the jokes. I already went through them in my head. I already went through the memes in my head. It's like, doctor said, well, maybe if you stop, you can fill in the blank, right? Your wrist wouldn't hurt so much, right? I can't say it on YouTube, right? Obviously, there's jokes and memes that got to keep PG here. But, I mean, I don't know what you're all thinking. And it sounds really bad, but that's not what happened, I swear. Okay. Constructors will come from the wood constructors that make biomass from the wood. If that sounds confusing, don't worry. It confuses me sometimes. I think I may have sounded a little bit too arrogant in this video. I don't know. If I were to criticize myself and talk about what I could do better, right out the gate, that I'll try to do better next time. Definitely maybe have a more friendly tone. I'm not saying I need to be more subdued or less aggressive, but I think a little bit more approachable in my tone. But then again, I told you guys when I made this, I was kind of in pain. I was dealing with a lot of BS. But I think I did pretty good at keeping my voice good despite the bullshit that was happening around me. All right. The gold-plated bullshit, or they call it high-quality problems. I mean, it's kind of all relative, right? We all have our demons and our, battlefront, and we all have our challenges. I don't really look at anybody really having more of a better or worse position than me, at least not on paper. Even if they appear to be getting over or getting away with stuff, we never see what happens behind the scenes. For all we know, they have so much. Yeah, trust me. There's so many different ways to pay for bad acting than just material or legal stuff. So I guess for me, everyone's got their battlefront. Everybody's got their challenges, their dark sides, their good sides. We're human, and I was pretty human when I made this video, gotta be honest. All you need to know is that you want to keep the leaf biomass separate from the wood biomass. You'll see why in a moment, because we're going to use splitters to make it so that each constructor constructs 100 biomass per operation. But that will be later. If we even need to go there, we might be able to get coal power before even having to do that. My point is that trying to optimize and ratio biofuel unless you're doing a specific challenge is a gross waste of time. Just don't even try. Just follow the steps that I go through here and you'll be fine. So once we get these constructors making some biofuel and pumping into these biofuel generators, then we'll go ahead and use that power to create the biofuel generators we need afterwards to complete our biogenerator setup. So we're ready to put power lines on our first initial part of the setup here. We're going to go ahead and power these constructors, put some biofuel in the biogenerators, and then let her rip. Now we're going to lay down our first biofuel generators. Now, we're only going to lay 3 to start with, because that's all we really have to work with right now. We just don't have enough biofuel made. Now, the thing you need to know about biogenerators is that they perfectly fill that 1 square foundation space. That's very important. So pressing Control and using the snap function with these things is also very nice. But there's also something else you can do. You can also shift middle click when you have your reticle on any building or machine, and it will copy that machine and its settings for you to then to control snap to, which is absolutely amazing and why you see me building so damn fast. See, I didn't even need to press the Q key to get into the menu for that one. And I don't even have to change its settings. It's exactly the way I want it, if it had settings. But in this case, biogenerators do not. By the way, did you know that you could attach conveyor lifts directly to constructors? And on top of that, you can attach splitters and mergers directly to those lifts, creating much more functionality with your machines. And the best part is you won't have to climb over belts anymore. You can walk underneath them very comfortably in and out of your factory. And it makes things look so much nicer, even though it is a little bit more work. Also, with the splitters being directly connected to the constructors themselves, you're saving a lot of room and a lot of space, and you can connect multiple resources to that same constructor very easily. And chain them together so that one belt can feed many constructors at once. Now, you can pull this off by simply belting normally, but it is a much bigger pain, and again, you'd have to climb over all the belts and the splitters, and sometimes you won't even be able to do that. Also, when you start working with walls and start making your setups much more compact, you will have to do things this way, because putting a splitter in the middle is a real pain in the butt, especially trying to belt those belts between the constructor and the splitter when it's that tight. I'll show you sometime. So now we're programming the biomass from leaves and wood. Yes, you have to have I'm sorry. I was muted. Okay, I'll start over. So, don't worry, nothing's wrong with the stream or the video. So what I was gonna say was, now there are exceptional times where I do still put splitters on the ground and run belts in between really tight in a box factory. It just depends on what I'm making and what I can do. I often tend to do that with like smelter setups and things like that. Or if I really need the space really bad, you know, in some other way, like on the like the outside, I need more space on the I don't know, or I need, yeah. I mean, it just depends on what's going on and the situation. But generally, most of the time, I never put splitters and belts on the floor ever, if I can help it. They're always either on a wall or they're on one of those lifts, because, you know, having to jump over belts all the time, not only does it waste time, it's also frustrating. And anybody who's, you know, tried to belt between the splitter and the constructor really tight like that can tell you that it's a real pain in the butt. So let's go ahead and continue. I have 2 separate constructors, one for leaves and one for wood. They are 2 separate recipes. Yes, it is annoying. And now we're going to make sure that this constructor is also set to biofuel to take that biomass and turn it into biofuel. Once the leaf and the wood constructors change it to biomass, it just becomes biomass, so you don't need 2 biofuel recipes, so don't get confused. And now, at long last, we can take all of the leaves and the wood we've accumulated over all this time, and we don't have to worry about this again for a very long time, if ever. Now you can see it working. It's sending our leaves and our wood to their constructors, and then those constructors are sending that biomass to the biofuel constructor, and then that biofuel is being sent to the generators. And now we're going to finish our biogenerator plant once and for all, and this will be the last time we ever do this for the rest of the game. Most likely. Generally, one wood constructor, going 20 wood per minute if split off, can supply up to 15 biogenerators, and that's with normal belts. So you won't need to upgrade to Mark III or even Mark II to get the power that you need until you can do coal power in the next phase, which is coming very soon. So it looks like I did forget to put a storage box to put the biofuel in before it goes to the generators. That's also very important. You do definitely want to buffer your biofuel. You can get away without doing it, but I wouldn't recommend it. You also want some of that biofuel for yourself and your chainsaw in case you need to go get leaves. But later on, you're going to need your chainsaw for other things too, like getting mycelium, for example, which you will need throughout the rest of the game. And as you can see, we are chaining the burner generators together again like we did before with belts, lifts, and splitters. Again, I can't reiterate this enough. It looks crazy. It looks goofy. It looks like you don't need to do it. I guarantee you, you start doing things this way, you won't go back. You think it's inefficient. Trust me, it's not. I cannot go back after doing things this way. Not having to sit there and inch out the splitter perfectly distanced between two different constructors. It's just so nice. And not having to worry about balancing and all that other stuff. It automatically balances itself out for the most part. As long as you have enough items on that belt, you will have enough items for all those machines eventually. Also, look how nice and... So I'm ex-military, guys, and let me tell you, one of the coolest things I ever learned in the military was the motto, work smarter, not harder. You know, so I don't believe in grinding when I don't have to. I don't believe in looking at the spreadsheet when I don't have to, when I can easily do a much simpler solution. I have no ego when it comes to that stuff. Not saying that everybody that does that has ego. No, absolutely not. Not taking shots at anybody here. I'm just saying that for me personally, I don't really feel the need to, like, you know, do that. I like doing things a simple way when possible. But if I can't, then I can totally, yeah, well, let's get complex. Let's, you know, let's do science and futurism. Let's do the smart guy stuff. Let's, like, you know, let's geek out. I'm all for it, you know, when it's appropriate, but I'm always looking for the lowest common denominator, right? I'm always trying to distill things down, refine things into its simplest form. You know, like, basically, I'm the kind of guy that, like, you know, you know, some people say, well, you know, that's a building. I'll say, like, well, you know, really, it's a big pile of atoms, you know? But then again, most people don't know what they're atoms. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to point that out. Neat this is, how I can make right angles and whatnot and face them the way I want to. Very, very helpful, very nice. Sometimes tricky, yes, sometimes. But I tell you waste a lot less time doing this. Oh, and real quick here, here's a quick secret. If you take the bio burners and space them one foundation apart like this and place them exactly perfectly like this, and if you connect a constructor to the splitter like this with the conveyor lift will fit perfectly and it will feed both, and it will automatically connect. Coffee Stain used to not have it do this, but now they have. I think the other thing I could do is, I think I need to yell a little less, because I'm kind of been catching myself yelling in the mic lately, and I kind of did that quite a bit this video, so I think I need to, now that I'm more calmed down, I'm dealing with, hopefully, some, less amount of stress. Bad stress, anyway. I can focus more on, not softening, but just, reducing my volume overall that comes out. Anyway, yeah, and being just a little more calm. I think really, if I were to do the little micro tweaks here to this video, that's what I would do after the fact. And it's really or next time, you know. Great. Now if they could just get it to where you could connect things from a splitter to a constructor, but we can't do that yet. But hey, I can dream, can't I? Maybe someday Coffee Stain will recognize that that's really cool and we'll go ahead and develop that. By the way, I feel that Coffee Stain has done a fine job here improving the mechanics of their game up till the 1.0 release, and I think they did a damn fine job overall, and other companies could learn from their example. So Coffee Stain, if you're out there watching this somehow right now, I want to say thank you, and you're doing a fine job. Keep doing it and don't ever change. And by the way, you have some of the most entertaining update videos I have ever seen for a video game. Never change that as well. You guys give me hope in this dystopia that is modern gaming. As you can see, I've sped up the footage a little bit. We pretty much said what we wanted to say here. It's just the rest is me showing you and demonstrating you how you can set this up. It's very quick, so I thought I'd speed it up a little bit. There's not really much left to say. I've pretty much explained to you guys how I do things here and how to do this. You're going to want to make just about every factory similar to this using the methods that I just showed you. I find that most factories are about 5 to 6 foundations width apart, depending, of course, on their size and what they are. Obviously, coal generators are going to take up much more real estate than your average constructor setup will, and vice versa. So there you go, guys. This is our biofuel factory and our biogenerator power plant. So now that we've got this finished, we can further optimize our factory, and we can get into coal power and get into phase 2 and just fully focus on that now that we have the power to do so. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Okay. I hope you guys like that. I apologize if you were expecting, if you didn't want to see this and you were expecting for me to jump right into gameplay, which we're going to do right now. Let's go ahead and we're going to switch cameras here. All right, there's Satisfactory. But anyway, I just want to show my appreciation to you guys by letting you see the video real time. If you want to see the actual video, it's out right now. I'll leave a link to that in the description, but I'm also it's minute 27. Okay. I'm gonna do my best to remember that and put it in the. You know what? I'll go ahead and do that right now. Just give me 1 minute, and I'm gonna edit it right now. Actually, so it was at 27. Sorry. I was about to say, fuck no, it hasn't been 40 minutes. Bullshit. No. I think... Dude. No, it hasn't been 40 minutes. Okay. It says 28 minutes up there. So we're going to say video starts at 27. Just so I can give them a little clip of my... No. You know what? 28. We'll do 28. Okay. So now we're going to do the gameplay, guys. Yeah, now we're going to do the gameplay starting now, 28:30. There we go. That's what I'm going to put in the thing here. So let me change the description real quick here. Put that timestamp in there. 28:30. I don't know if I'm doing this right. It's been a while. Stream portion. Begins. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that. We'll save it, and then hopefully that didn't mess a bunch of things up. Looks like it didn't. Good. Okay, so I put that in the description. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and give me 1 second. Oh, I got a like already. Thank you. Let's see. Now, I know there's not a lot of you on. It's okay. Hopefully, we're going to have a really exciting stream. I still have some energy. Pretty good. All right, we are just going to we're going to go to town on the building optimizing. We're going to get our mall. We're going to get all the resources lined out. We're going to get our factory initially up to speed. We're going to get the rest of our factory up to speed with everything that we've researched so far. We're still going to research some more tech too, possibly get to, maybe even get to phase 3. We're not getting to phase 3 today. Okay, I'm telling you right now. This is the first milestone that takes an incredible amount of work to get to the next elevator stage. I mean, the resources we got to make are no joke. And we do not need to make them at all until we are absolutely done with everything else. And we don't want to make them until we're absolutely done making everything else and just doing this, basically. And getting more coal, and maxing our coal power, min-maxing our coal power, and min-maxing everything else as much as we can. Okay, I'm shutting up now, and we're going to get started. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to, how do I, yeah, I will just, I'll turn Satisfactory off for a moment. You bastard. Oh, what the F in hell? All right, hold on, I turned it off. I didn't mean to turn it off. Okay, there we go. No, thanks for watching. No, bad. No, I don't want them getting idea. Do not keep watching. Do not stop watching. That was an accident. I'm gonna cut that out. I can't cut that out. I'm screwed now. But all right. So try to just okay. Okay. I think this is okay. Good. I think we got it. I think this is the one. Let me make sure. I think it is. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry about the beep. Okay. Come on, dude. All right. I need to slow down. There we go. Well, hey, I could have been failing worse, right? I could have been failing worse. So I hope you guys see that now. I do need to unpause and get into the game. There we go. Now you guys have audio. Apologize. I'm a one-man show right now, as far as I know. Yeah, just give me a second. This really needs to not pause the audio when I tab out. So, let's see. Audio, where is it? No, do not effing do that. Thank you. We are not doing that. We're not muting the game. Mute music, absolutely. We are going to do that. That music cannot be on here. Well, okay, it will be, but I have to vet it first, guys. I have to un-F my music situation, and look, my queue is huge. It is bad. I am back to F up, dude. I mean, I just almost broke my wrist, or I thought I did. It's fully healed now, by the way. Then, there I go. Flap my gums again. Mute game chat. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely, please. Yeah. Dude, that's really cool if they have that feature. Even if it may not work right all the time, dude, just having that protection, that's very considerate. I actually, as a streamer, I do appreciate it, even though I don't really think developers should spend too much time catering their game to their streamers. They need to just cater their game to the user experience. That includes streamers. So I don't care that they're paying attention to me so much as they need to be paying attention to making that cool even when I'm playing it single player. That's what I believe. So, but anyway, yeah, so we got our coal power. We got shit is going on, guys. We got hyper tubes. Look at this shit, man. Oh, I love this. You think this looks good, and it doesn't even really look that good to me. Oh, man, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. This is going to be... Oh, okay. So, I keep forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I can't remember what I am forgetting. Oh, I need to put the link to the video I just played in chat. Please forgive me. I have to do that. I'm sorry. I'm a YouTuber. It's my job. I will be right back. Give me 1 second. Just don't go anywhere. Not that I can stop you. Okay. I'm excited though. That went a lot better than it could have been. I could have really just fumbled it. Like, could have been a black screen, bad sound, all kinds of dumb shit. I mean, of course, I'll look at it later and just it'll be totally ruined, but that's okay. Hey, I made an attempt to entertain you guys, so I think I'm good in my book. I'm satisfied with my own shit. Okay. Let's go ahead and get shareable link. And I think if I'm doing this right, we'll edit the... where is it? Yeah. By the way, if you guys want to talk, and you notice that it's on subscriber chat, the only reason I do that is to avoid trolling. Is to mitigate trolling. I can't avoid it, but mitigate it. It's very nice. It's a lot of peace of mind. And until I got moderators, I really just don't want to deal with the headache of like getting spammed by some random site every 5 minutes, or, you know, somebody who's not genuinely interested in my channel. They just want to disrupt it or be dumb, you know, and not really participate. You know, I'm fine. You know, I don't have too much hate for the trolls. I mean, other than a couple situations. But really, I mean, trolls are going to be trolls. They're going to happen. You can't stop them. But at the same time, I found that with this subscriber chat, if you make it annoying for them to come on and do their thing, get that dopamine hit, if you can disrupt that, I think that's really the best way to deal with trolls and just bad people in general. Make them understand that, okay, man, you can do that and I can't stop you, but you ain't getting the payoff that you think you're going to get. I'm not going to let you get it. You know? It's kind of like people with a barking dog, right? And they yell at that dog, shut up! You know? No offense if you are that, if that's you. I bear you no ill will. I'm not, don't comment at anybody that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. But I've met people before where, or I've seen people in passing, you know, where they yell at the dog, shut up, you know? And I ain't the dog whisperer or anything, but I learned something really cool on TV once. It was like called the removal technique. And then later on, when I got my degree, I learned even more about it. It's that basically, and I need to shut the hell up. I need to do this. I'm sorry. I am failing here, guys. Okay. I'm really excited. I just released this video. You know, maybe this will blow up in my face, but whatever. Okay. So, I'm aware that my content was slow this month. But, I mean, I've been pretty transparent about why that was. Well, for one, I hit 10,000 subscribers, guys. That was like... That was a shock to my system. I really had to sit down and think about my next moves. You know what I mean? Yeah, it changed my life. It really did. Thank you very much for that, too, by the way. In a very good way, obviously. But there were also some other challenges that happened. Some interpersonal challenges. Existential challenges, and I'm gonna shut up about it, but I swear to God. Anyway, I edited it. Hopefully, the changes were made. I gotta double check. I'm sorry. I gotta fucking double check. I gotta do the YouTuber thing. Okay. Alright. I hope that works. I hope something dumb doesn't, but whatever. Whatever happens from here happens. I did my job. I did my part. So the rest is up to fate to decide what the hell happens. Okay. So we got coal power. We got steel. We have lots of resources. We have belts. Oh, by the way, don't listen to any video or short that tells you we don't need batteries, because you do. And we want to make sure, are we charging or are we time until full? Okay, we are charging. So we have an hour and a half if we get effed. If our power, God forbid, goes out, we will have an hour and 30 minutes to respond to it. I think that's a healthy amount of time, and it's going to even get even better, especially as I make more. This is going to be our hallway. Check this out. Woo. So this is what we did yesterday. We spent hours working on this, but it was good. This is going to save us so much work. It's unbelievable. So you do quite a bit of work now to not do a fuck ton of work later. I have painfully experienced that. So this goes right to our hub, or it did. Hold on. See, you know I need signs because now I'm lost because I haven't been at this for a few days. Okay, so, but yeah, I mean, so this is, it's all nice and neat. We got our MAM here. Yeah, let me give you guys a, now that we have an actual base, I'll give you guys a tour. You know, for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Now, I got an alternate recipe here. What is this? What even is this? Okay. Steamed upper sheet. I want to say fuck no to that. Fused quartz crystal. I want to say fuck no to that and rescan. No interest in that. Steel rods? No. Copper alloy ingot. Man, you know, this, that's tough. I wish I knew what. Okay. I'm trying to think about this. I can't do this math in my head, guys. I don't give a shit. I'll get it later. I don't even care about any of these. I've never used them. I mean, I know someone will say, you noob, you never used that. Yeah. I've never needed to. So, it's never been a big deal. So, but I'll tell you what, I'm looking for screws, but I think I already got the screw recipe. So, if I didn't, I definitely want that. All right. So, and also, what we also have, and I should have used my hypertube for that, we are going to pick up this mall, and I believe we are ready to do it. I just want to check one thing. We're going to come to these hypertube rooms, and we're going to go back to the hub. Look at all this time we're saving, guys. It's just going to get better from here. This is our hypertube network, okay? And this is going to be our hypertube, like, highway, hallway, whatever. These are actually going to be rooms. I'm going to be sealing these off. I'm not going to be walking down here. You guys will see it when it's finished, okay? So, all right. Now, this is our trash area. So whatever we don't like, we can throw in here. When I start doing what I call destruction derby, which is just indiscriminately destroying everything around me, I'm going to be throwing it into that sink there. Anything I don't like. Because, you know, in Fix It, we don't waste. We don't waste, you know? Alright, so... Alright, first off, we need to get a whole bunch of chests here. Well, okay, whenever you destroy things, guys... Get my crap together here. You want to make some personal chests, and you want to throw all your stuff in it. And you want to keep it, or you know, I want to remember where it is so you don't lose it for obvious reasons. You also want some other chests. Yeah. So you're going to want other chests. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. Son of a... Okay. So we'll have the iron, the rods. You just want to lay these out. Alright, so we do that. Throw that back in there. Now, we'll pick this guy up too. And because we don't really need that anymore. Alright. So now we're going to empty these. And we're going to kind of move. Well, I think actually that might be a bad move. I gotta think about this for a second. So I probably should just start optimizing the resources that are most important. And actually, now that I think of it, I do need to set up industrial beams. So we need to do that now. Hey, Fenrir, how's it going? Yeah, we absolutely need to do industrial beams. I actually think, okay, I think the mall is going to be a gradual transition. We're not going to do it all at once. It just makes no sense to do that. No, but we will, since we're already here. We'll put this box aside like this. This is not going to stay here, by the way. All right, but come on. Anyway, we're going to throw our stuff back in our inventory. Come on. Okay. All right, guys. Got ahead of myself. It's been a bit. Got to get my bearings here. So, let's go back to the steel. But actually, make sure I got enough reinforced plates. All right. So we're going to hit, yeah, Q. And we're going to queue some stuff up. So first off, first thing we want to do, well, let's go to the hub, and we're gonna see where we're at as far as milestones. See if we have the tech that we need. Yeah, well, okay, blueprints. Yeah, there's no reason not to do this. We're gonna do this right now. Besides, this is going to save us loads more time as well. But I think I just want to start with the basic stuff. So we're actually going to get into blueprints, and I might even retitle this blueprints depending on how long this takes, but blueprints usually don't take too long. So I know, famous last words. Let's go back here real quick. We just need to get more cables, which I'm glad. See, I'm already glad I did not dismantle the mall yet. I think I need to set that up last. That just makes sense. So that way I have the materials as I'm building the stuff, whenever I'm building the stuff, to finish building that, and then I will come for the mall. Okay, so first thing you need to get is that's rods. Excuse me. So we got cables. So we get 3 of those. We need a lot of concrete. Alright, come on. Come on. Ooh. Oh, thank God. I was like, oh my God, I just connected the concrete. No. Okay. So now we're going to go back. We do want to pick up some modules though, because the 100's a lot also. Ooh, yeah, look at those modules. Yeah, we'll throw that out. We'll throw this guy out too. We don't care about him. We're not going to be using the fabricator cart much more. And we're going to unf all this mess, all this spaghetti mess. We're going to undo all of this crap. We're going to make this shit look really cool. Really, just easy to get around. Just easy to organize, easy to think about. See, the way I build is set up so that I found with a lot of my games over the years, my automation games, that I would spend tons of inordinate time just scratching my head, figuring out where I was going to place something, how I was going to connect something. I don't do that anymore, man. And not as little as I possibly can. Because I find that I've wasted so much time doing that. I would much rather do the work and not do that. It saves way more time than, just going, dealing with it when it comes, and then, not planning where the next thing will be in advance, and then, when I get to it, I'm clueless, and then I gotta spend 3 hours thinking about what I'm gonna do. I don't want to do that anymore. I just don't do it anymore, basically. All right, so we got blueprints. There we go. Okay. And guys, I had to take some time off the stream. Hell, honestly, can we all be grateful here that I can even use my hand right now? You guys don't believe the miracle. You wouldn't believe the miracle just happened. The fact that I'm even streaming right now. Dude, you should see my hand. I was like, I'm screwed. I'm not coming out with any content this month. At all. I got effed again. Blood clot in my lungs, and now this. Guys, you have no idea the miracle that just happened. I woke up, and not only did my hand feel better, I was actually able to move the mouse on my computer. As long as I didn't move my wrist too far left or right, I had no pain whatsoever. Now, I did it for the rest of the day, and then by the end of the day, I was like, wow, I've been here for hours. I'm not getting any issues. Yeah, man, I mean, dude, I'm so grateful to be streaming. I am, really, guys. I know I sound angry. I'm not. I'm actually, I've been having a very good time despite this wrist injury, and I'm just so grateful, so I'm experiencing a lot of noise. Give me 1 second. Okay, I did not hear the doorbell. There's a guy outside my door, but I think he's just doing maintenance on like one of the panels or something. So I think we're okay. Actually, you know what, guys? I am gonna go check that out real quick with security. Give me a second. Well, as far as I know, I have a really good relationship with the security people here, and it's really nice. And so I just I do my best to communicate with them. It was nothing. The guy's just doing maintenance out there. It happens from time to time. There's this hallway outside. I live in this building. There's this hallway out there, and they do stuff, and yeah. I mean, I'm in a big building. I'm not gonna dox myself or anything. But what I'm saying, like, that's kind of where I live right now. I have a pretty decent view, I'll just put it that way. So I just want to make sure that guy was actually supposed to be there. Yeah, they told me it was maintenance. Yeah, so never know. There was one time where it was kind of one of the more fearful times I've been here. there were a group of guys outside my door, and they knocked on it, and I looked in the people, and I didn't recognize them at all, and my door is actually unlocked, but I quickly locked it. I don't think they noticed. Might have, but they were kind of smiling, and I'm just kind of like, I am not opening the door for you, dude. I yelled out, hey, can I help you? And they didn't answer me. That was another creepy sign, right? I'm like I ain't opening that door. I talked to my expat friends. I said, yeah, you did the right thing, dude. Yeah, never, like, outside the U.S., I never open my door if I'm not expecting someone, ever. I keep that sucker locked. I mean, even then, you know, I mean, we've all heard the stories. You know, better safe than sorry, you know, over here. I mean, you can't be paranoid all the time, but yeah, that was definitely one of the more tense moments I've had here. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sorry about that disruption, guys. I apologize. So we're gonna go ahead. But yeah, I mean, that's just a reality where I live. I live, at least for me, in a, some at times and in some respects, I have a little bit more danger going on around me than you know, the average American would, or guy in the U.S. I don't want to get into politics and all that crap. I'm just saying. There's stuff here that I got to worry about and think about more, obviously, than I ever did when I was in the States, you know, where I grew up. So that's just a fact. I mean, not always. There's plenty of areas in the States where you got to be on your toes, obviously. But yeah, and I'm done talking about that. So let's yeah, sorry about the disruption, guys. I'm really trying, guys. I'm really trying to tie this in. I'll keep working on it, I promise. Okay. So we got blueprints. Let's bust that out. Now, the only reason I want to get this is for the slots. I will not use these. I'm making that clear with you right now. These, I think this is really the only knock on this game. The last time I tried this, this was like, yeah, vigilance, man. Listen, those of you that have not left the country or have never been in active duty military or anything like that, or even guard, or any kind of like that, have never, that really don't have a frame of reference for what it's like outside the country. Like I said, I'm not getting political, but there is some bad stuff out there. There is some dark stuff out there. I have seen it. And, you know, I'm just going to say we're really safe in our country right now. We really are in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stuff out there that a lot of us have never had to see or deal with. Not all of us, but like I said, and I'm going to shut up after this because this is getting way off topic, and I got to be very careful what I say with this shit. So, in fact, I kind of took a risk in my last videos talking about the gaming dystopia, because, I mean, yeah. All right. Shutting up, but we are going to get this at some point. I just want to make sure that I'm not destroying my resources by getting this. In fact, I don't even have rotors, so I'm not going to do that right now. So, and please, no comments about politics or any of that stuff. It's not what this channel's about, for one. Two, it'll just, you know, I'll just have to censor it. I don't want to, but you know, I mean, I don't like to silence people, but I got to protect this channel, and really, it's just not what this channel's about. And I'm not really, I'm not one of those people that really want to just, you know, yeah. I am interested in this channel's future, just put it that way. And so I got to play by the rules if I'm going to do that, at least for mostly, you know. I at least can't do anything that I don't see, you know, that I see other YouTubers not being YouTubers anymore because of. You know what I mean? I'm a viewer also. All right. Anyway, let's just back away from this very slowly. And okay, we're going to do industrial beams. No, we're going to do blueprints. All right, let's go do blueprints. Now, I am pretty damn sure I want to do blueprints at the hub. So we're going to go do that. There are some basic blueprints that I make every single time in each playthrough that I do with Satisfactory. They've been pretty consistent over the years. So now I'm going to keep this part for the Hypertube network. So I'm just wondering where I'm going to put this. I think I'm going to put the blueprint afterwards because you really don't... I'm not going to be going to the blueprint all the time. I probably will initially, but eventually, you know, once I make all the blueprints, I'm only going to be making a blueprint once in a while. But when I make one, I'm going to be there for a while, you know? Okay, so this is where it actually ends. Here, yes. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a 1 foundation buffer just to, you know, make shit smooth. Honestly, when you're building factories, I'm finding more and more that really you don't have to have 10 times space between everything, but some people do that, and I don't blame them because it just seems like no matter what space I put between my creations, I got to put a little more, or I forgot this other little thing. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I'm just putting 10 foundations between you guys, you know? But really, it's a gross inefficient waste of space for me. I like to minimize things and compact things as much as I can. The thing of it is, though, if you focus, my experience has been, if I focus too much on compacting stuff, I will lose the plot, and then next thing you know, I have to do spaghetti to get out of the mess that I got myself into. Okay, so you guys might hear noises here and there. As far as I know, everything is fine. I don't. Yeah, I mean, doors locked and everything. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's just security told me it was happening. I do trust my security here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So, I generally, well, this is the blueprint. I forget. This is not going to be a factory. That's probably going to be placed next. And so we're just going to start building and building and building after we get this settled. Now we're going to put a door here. You know, I might have to rename this Blueprints because I have a feeling that because it took so long to get started because of the interruptions, that I may have to just kind of embarrass myself further and do that. I mean, I've gotten used to it over the years. I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it. I'm fully aware of this, guys, by the way. I'm not proud of it. That I tell you guys I'm going to do something and then I end up not doing it. I get in my head about it off camera. I do. I don't like it. But you know what? You know what I've never done? I've never accepted there is no solution as an answer. It's not the same as I've never taken no for an answer. I'll take no problem. I know, right? I don't mess with that. But I don't accept that there is no alternative. I never accept that there isn't some kind of way to either deal with a situation or get around a situation or some kind of solution, man. I'm a solution-oriented person. I don't believe in just giving up, I don't think You know, like I said, no judgment, no opinions there. Just that's just me. I don't. So when I get faced with a challenge, I don't know. It's just in my nature, or especially if somebody tells me I can't do something. Oh man, you just screwed up. You know, because my mind catches on like a steel trap. Now sometimes I don't find a solution. Honestly, there have been some very depressing moments in my life where I actually did have to accept that at least right then, I did not have an answer of any kind. I didn't. I was out of ideas, and it wasn't so much that I come up with all the best ideas and that nobody can tell me anything. At least not anymore. It was more like, you know, everything got recommended to me failed. Everything I thought about failed. Everything I did, tried, whatever. I'm just back at square zero no matter what I do. And I don't know what to do now. I get really crazy when that happens to me. It doesn't happen to me. Happens to me very rarely. But man, it's depressing. For me, it's depressing. I don't like it at all. I'll just say that. Not psycho or anything. It's just, you know what I mean? It's really tough. For me, I grew up with a lot of adversity, a lot of challenges. I'm just like, you know what? There's got to be a way around this. That's my attitude. And man, I think that's saved my life, honestly, overall. Yeah, it's driven me crazy sometimes, but you know what? Dude, and this factory's no different, man. I had no idea I could do all this stuff. If I had just given up and be like, oh, well, I guess I just suck at Satisfactory, I would have never figured any of this out. I'm always like, you know, I'm always hopeful or at least, you know, open to the possibility that maybe there's another way. You know, especially after what I've seen over the past decade or so. Um, I mean, I have gotten through things that I didn't even think were possible, especially these past couple of years. So this is a blueprint, guys. Gonna get back to the game now. So we put this down. I don't. This is definitely gonna get deleted when we get the top tier and when we have to move it somewhere else. I don't know, but really, the cool thing about blueprints, you got to know, is that they're very easy. You can plop this sucker down anywhere. It does not need power. Okay, these things don't need power. Okay, the stuff you build in them needs power, but they don't need power. So you could be out there in the boonies, and if you got the resources, which you should, you can slap this sucker down and just make something on the fly. All right, so I think the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to start with a basic constructor. I'm going to show you guys how this works. All right, so first thing I like to do is I like to put the name of the belt. That's very important. So what is the current tier of the belt? It's a Mark III. So I type that. I type what it is, constructor. Now, it's only one, so I put X1. Okay, so there's only one constructor. It has Mark III belts. So in other words, it has Mark III lifts and whatnot. And then so it's time one, it's gonna be single, and then after that, you know, I think we're gonna write blank in there. Now, also, yes. Okay, so P1 is for me is power poles. So what tier of power poles is it? Most of the time it's P1, but we might get tier 2, maybe even tier 3, though I generally don't mess with tier 3. My friends who have messed with that, they told me it was very buggy. So it was one of the other small holes in this otherwise highly polished game from Coffee Stain. They did a really good job overall. I still stand by like their work. Guys should have seen this game when it was released. It is not even a fraction of what it is now. They did a fine job at coming through. I'll tell you that. There were a couple moments where I had my doubts, but they just kept at it, especially after they polished the trains and they released Update 6. I think Update 6 is where really shit started getting really good, where it stopped feeling boring. It felt like there was always shit to do. The world was full, all that stuff. So I don't usually leave a description unless there's more information I got to add. So basically, really, this is it. Now, um, it could be a factory or whatever. We could add more stuff here, but we say blank because this is the basic, uh, single setup. So, and it doesn't have, so you can just basically plop this down, set it to whatever you want, and then hook it up to something. So that's the first thing we're going to want. Now, once we make this, we can then clear this and make another blueprint and set the blueprint down inside. Yes, Inception. We can have a blueprint inside of a blueprint inside of a blueprint, or multiple blueprints in the same blueprint. There's all kinds of cool tricks I'm going to show you. Now, we set an icon. Now here, another little hole here. I guarantee you, just you're going to hate. Yeah, don't bother. Don't bother clicking on this at all. Just leave it alone. It's just going to trip you up. You're going to have to do it again anyway when you get out of this window. It's really annoying. I hope they fix it. They might have, but I doubt it. They haven't fixed it for a very long time. Okay, so we'll just leave the color the same because that just indicates to us that it's tier 1. Now, when we get to tier 2, I will change this color to green. Okay? So now it says, all right. So we can actually leave this window. I'm pretty sure we can get back. You mother. Okay. All right. So the first tip here is don't do this. Don't do this right now. Build the damn thing and then name it. So that's the first lesson there from my mistake, right? Okay. So we got constructor, put it down. Really simple. Try to follow the lines if you can, but this is just a single constructor. For once, the output is pointed away from me. Okay. We're gonna do one lift here. Okay. Like that. And okay, so here is the general rule with, you saw me in the video do this setup. The general rule with this is input is always splitters, generally, barring some exceptions, and you'll know what those are. You'll make your own tweaks as you go along. But the general rule is input is splitters, output is mergers. You'll see on your own why that is, for sure. Now, so I think I am. Let me show you. Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, so I think I don't want the output to come out the opposite side of the input. I do not want that. I want the input to be on the same side as the output, at least with the way this is set up. So we're going to make sure with the splitter, we're going to have the orange arrow pointed towards the factory. Okay. Now, hopefully it effing does that. Okay. So, and obviously we want to go the middle, from the input to the outside. And we can always change this later if we made it effed up. It's not, you can always change this blueprint later, delete, add things. This is different, guys, from the blueprints you're used to, those Factorio players and players of, other games. I'll make sure this is always straight here. And also, you want to make sure that you don't add any height to the lift unless you're working with multiple lifts on the same side, aka you've got an assembler or you have another belt going through at that same level. You'll see what I mean later. So now output's always mergers because there's only one green arrow and we need it to be faced towards the output. So each subsequent one we place after this is going to feed into the other and is going to go down that path and out onto one belt. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Just like in my other video, except this time you're going to see me do it you're going to see me take what I taught you in the biogenerator setup video, and we're going to do it with constructors, assemblers, manufacturers, and I'm going to show you guys eventually, and with pipes and stuff, which I already set up. You already watched me do that. In fact, you already watched me do this with the coal power plants. And you can see with the coal power plants exactly. In fact, I'll show you right now why I do the things that I did in that video. In fact, I could have probably clipped that in. I probably should have, if I were to make that video better. I probably should done a sneak peek at my coal power to show you guys one of the many reasons why I do things that way. Because really, with coal power, it's going to be very difficult. You're either going to have to elevate the pipes. If you have anything on the ground, you're either going to have to elevate the pipes, or you're going to have to elevate the conveyors. You know, and to an extent, it is your preference. But the thing of it is, I caution against is, you know, you really just, no matter what, do not want to be walking over shit. You really don't, unless you have to. It's not fun at all. It wastes a lot of time. Climbing over stuff in this game, like, basically, you gotta think every movement in this game, at least in your base, adds up. It's kind of like in Diablo, where the floor is lava. You know, every moment you spend sitting there, not getting experience, not progressing, not moving your character, not collecting things, not gathering things, you're taking an L. In a way, you're just kind of wasting time. I know I'm rich coming from me, right? I'm a big fat hypocrite right there. I just wasted a bunch of damn time when I didn't want to. But yeah, you see these lifts here? This is what I'm talking about. You're going to need to do this one way or another. You'll also need to do this not just with coal power, but you guessed it, with the chemical plants, which you're going later on in the game. You're going to be building a lot of those if you get to late game, and I'll be showing you guys how I work with those too. By the way, we're going to do a quick check here. Looks like they're all still running pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the power, see how much we still have. So we still have a good capacity. We are using a little bit. I believe once we do industrial beams and concrete, we may need to come back here and do another line of coal power. I don't mean it like that. Let me rephrase that. That's not what I meant. Don't clip that out. God damn it. We want to do. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. That almost went really bad. What is with me today? Coal power. We want to do another row of coal power. There we go. Roll. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I just got a brand new phone. I didn't think I was going to get. I just, you know, the thing with my wrist, my air conditioner dilemma, you know, fiasco. But I will say, I'm clean shaven. I look good again. I cleaned myself up. I got back up. My kitchen is spotless. Thank you for giving me my hand back. And yeah, so okay. So I'm going to go back and we're going to finish building that blueprint. Well, the other thing too is kind of like, I mean, I'm aware that like you got to start somewhere, and the quality of my streams, I believe, are going to get better over time. It's just, you know, it's just kind of a numbers game at that point. So we're going to go back to our setup here, our blueprint. Okay. That is too far. We definitely need to make a hypertube there, so we had that. So this goes all the way to the coal plant. We need something to go all the way to... What's going on here? Okay. Okay. I get it now. Yeah, we just wanted a buffer here. Okay. So actually, this is going to be super convenient. See, so let's see. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. Actually, something we definitely need to make with our blueprint machine is hypertube rooms, because doing this over and over again is kind of a pain in the butt. Gotta be honest. It's not the most enjoyable thing in the world. Okay, so get that. Hold on. Okay, they just made some noise outside. Don't worry about that. Okay. So we have... Oh yeah, I do have my doors on the side. So when it sits me out, I'm not like flying over an edge or something. Okay. So now we're gonna go to our hypertube hotbar. And yeah, the wall hole there. I'm not gonna call it that, I swear to God. I thought about it though, guys. I really did. I thought about calling it that, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it at least PG-13, or like, you know, I guess my language is rated R, but I don't want I don't want that kind of rated R. You know what I mean? All right, back the hell away from that too. I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm so damn paranoid. It has kept me out of a lot of trouble, though. But I don't think it's a total loss. Okay, so... like this. I remember when I came here... dude, they really laid... a couple guys really laid into me on some of the Philippine content that I did. Now, I'm not lying when I say that really had no bearing on whether, you know... on why I didn't continue in that space. It really wasn't anything. It was just, I hate live work. I do. I hate camera work. Like, video work or camera work is about as bad, if not more bad, than voice audio work. It's just it's just as complex, just as much of a pain in the ass. And it is another thing that just, if you do it wrong or if you make one little mistake, it will ruin your whole damn video. And it's just a lot of work. Yeah, it's high risk, high reward, but again, you know, and at the end of the day, it is easier to get big off of, you know, a actual, you know, with you know, camera, not just a game, but like, you know, people and stuff. You know, some of the biggest videos out there are like that, and, you know, movies and film and stuff. Yes, I get it, but it is just not for me. I did it for a couple years. It was just like, dude, this feels like just work to me. It's not. Yeah, I'm not having fun with this at all. So I decided that you know what, I'll do it once in a while. I actually do think I am going to do a Philippines video here kind of soon. But it definitely going to be... Let's see, this is why I put a buffer space. Actually, you know, we could do this here. I think this will work, actually. I think this will work. Hopefully they'll let me do it. So we got this. This, and we got the tube there, and there we go. And now we have to put the entrance here. Now, I don't have rotors for some dumb reason. I don't know why, but we're going to go get some. No problem, we'll go get some. Oh, yes. Okay. This one, yeah, I think this one goes to, yes. This goes to the mall, and it goes to the rotors. So I'm suddenly feeling tired, and I don't know why. This is one of the many things that I don't want to deal with, that I'm forced to deal with in my life, so I think I may need to go eat some steak or something, or, you know, take a break. Just a short break, but not yet. I don't want to take a break after I just spent a bunch of time yakking and stuff. I want to show you guys some gameplay. Okay, here. What do we got? Oh, man. Please tell me that we're not out. Wow. I want to whine and complain about that. You know what? We'll put some rods in here. Yeah, we definitely got to revamp this stuff. Just... Okay. Yeah, definitely need to make some optimizations here for sure. I did not mean to leave such a hype, clickbaity title on there, because I haven't revolutionized my factory, so I apologized. I was not my intention to mislead you guys there. I really thought that I was going to be able to do this today. And it just turns out, gosh, man. Honestly, I think I should have rescheduled it for a couple more days. I think that's really what I should have done. But I had to get the video out today, and I wanted to promote the video, so we'll just title this one Blueprints. So, okay. There is a couple other things, too, I want to talk about, actually. All right, I'll tell you guys what. You know what? I'm gonna make up for this, okay, guys? But I need some time. The next time I stream, we are definitely gonna be redoing some stuff. This is not seeming like it's turning out to be a good day for the stream. So I'm actually gonna make this a two-parter, guys. This will be part one. Honestly, yeah, I think this needs to be multiple parts, guys. Kind of like the phase was. I think this needs to be a multi-parter, at least a two-parter, if not a three-parter, because that video kind of just, it was kind of dominated, and I wanted it to do that, but then it took really long time for me to get going. There was a lot to talk about. A lot of BS happened. See, this is what really frustrates me about my life. You know, not complain too much, especially just getting 10,000 subscribers. I need to be grateful for that. I get it. I get it. But I just feel like it'd be a lot farther ahead if I wasn't getting hamstrung every single month by something and prevented from making content every single month by something. That's what I have a problem with. It's just like, can I get some momentum, please? Can I just sit down and be able to do some work without something interrupting me? You know, like long term, or make, you know, like this with no energy level. However, so let me get to the point. I decided today to make some videos private that I felt were kind of cringy, for one, and were not really giving me any engagement or analytics, so to speak. So there wasn't really any point in having them there on that list anyway. If this really bothers some of you, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I might change my mind and put them back up, or at least on a case-by-case basis. If some of you guys really did like one or two of those videos, really felt like you got something out of it, I just feel a lot of the videos that I'm going to be doing with in the future, they're just videos that they're either dead. Now, I'll put them on private. I'm not going to get rid of them, obviously. That would hurt my channel. But I'm going to make them private. The ones that they look exactly the same as when I last looked at them, you know, years ago. So, for example, there was a video I made, kind of a really long rant about, you know, YouTube success content, which I still double down on. I still agree with that 100%, especially now, right? They didn't help me fucking get here. Oh, I do my own shit to do that. They helped me a little bit with other parts, but it's like, dude, all that stuff did not work for me until I did the work. I just did the work. I put out the content. You know, I kept at it. I did not quit, and that was it. But anyway, so I have been making some of my videos private. I just don't feel like they're no longer really appropriate to have out there. They're not producing. They're not my best content, and that's putting it lightly. Some of them they're not even edited, you know? So I am going to be, if any video I see where it's got like, I mean, especially the ones that have less than 100 views, it's like, at best, it's not going to do anything. At worst, it's going to turn people away from my channel. Not that I want to misrepresent myself or catfish anyone, so to speak, but let's get real, man. I mean, I do care about my image online and my brand. So I don't want to totally, you know, neglect my reputation here, though I don't believe that's more important than, you know, having morals and principles and shit like that. But for me, yeah, I do care about it a little bit, obviously, as a YouTuber, especially with the numbers that I have now. I think that is something that's going to change that I do need to be more aware of. Now, I mean, I might still react to some of that content or remaster it or redo it, especially if you guys request it. And if you notice that there's videos that aren't there anymore and you missed them, just let me know. Let me know, man. I might reconsider putting them back up as long as they aren't too egregious. Like, for example, there was a video, I'll just throw myself under a bus, where I said some pretty harsh things about the concept of doing a subscription for a tier list. Now, my beliefs and my opinion about that hasn't changed, but I don't believe that I was coming from a good place when I made that video. I was just angry and frustrated. And really, the likes and the views show it. It didn't do anything. It got like 66 likes, and it didn't have a very good like-dislike ratio, which, though that's not, you know, I don't usually take that too seriously, with a couple exceptions. That was one of them. It's just like, okay, this is just not constructive for me. It's not benefiting me at all to have this here. So, now other videos, that some other people might take down, like the apology video. Fuck no, I'm never taking that down. That's an integrity thing. That's part of my apology. That's my wall of shame, right? That is my wall of shame. That video is my wall of shame, and it's not monetized. You look at it right now. I effed up. I made a stupid video that I did not do enough. It's not stupid. I made a mistake and I didn't check it well enough before I put it out. And somebody pointed out to me in the comments and thanked that person that they did, because they were right. And I looked at it, I said, you know what? And to be fair though, I was ignorant of the way things were here when I put it down. Though I was very confident about my knowledge of the American VA. But I gotta say, that was super. It's been a super different experience with the VA here in the Philippines. Not saying anything negative, it's just different. It is way different. Don't expect the same kind of care, and I'm not going to say how much or how little, I'm just saying the way things are at the Philippines VA are different than they are in the American VA. Okay? Same umbrella, but like I said, they have different protocols, different regulations, all that stuff that I'm not even aware of. So I just, and they made it clear to me, and they told me, but by the time they told me, I made assumptions. That was my mistake. I assumed that, things were going to be at that VA exactly as they were at the American VA, and I think that's one of the dumbest assumptions I've made since I've been here. So I made an apology video. I showed my face. I embarrassed the hell out of myself, and I don't regret it, because that is what I'm willing to do. Anyway, enough talking shit. I think I'm going to go, guys. It's been a long week, but I wanted to make the stream. I gave you guys an hour. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. I'm kind of disappointed myself. I really wanted to have fun and get into this, but I guess my body has different ideas. I'm still working. I hope someday I can be that DJ where I can just, I can just turn off my care for what the hell my, my health does. So, or what my body wants me to do. Like, I don't want to. Right as I said that, right? I was like, I run my head, my mind saying no. I don't know why my mind's in the gutter lately. Okay. All right, guys. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. But we'll definitely get into blueprints next part of this. And we're going to get this finished. I need some time. So yeah, I made some videos private that weren't the best look in the world. Not that I'm trying to deceive anybody. And you know what? If you really want me to, I can at least unlist them upon request. Like I said, I can make them public again. That's my pact with you guys. If you guys demand it, and you have a specific video you want to see again, and you guys are not happy that I put that on private, I will put it public again. But if you can't think of anything, then why does it even matter? So I'm gonna put it on private unless you say something. If I feel like, okay, this video is no longer, let's play taps for this. This didn't go anywhere. So the second announcement I want to make is my next project confirmed. I will announce it right here. I am 95% certain that Stellaris is going to be the next video I do. I'm going to do the next chapter of Stellaris. It's just, I'm alternating. I believe in diversification. I'm not just exclusively a Stellaris YouTuber. I refuse to be exclusive to that niche. If I lose some people over that, hey, I'm going to miss you. I hope you come back. But I'm not changing. And so I divide my attention a little bit, and my goal is to get to a place where I don't want to juggle too many hats at once, but kind of, I got a foundation built. You have that big Stellaris tutorial thing. And to be fair, I did just release a remaster of the Battleship video. So I didn't just come out with that first chapter of the Stellaris series and just abandon you guys. No, that's not what's going on. I'm just dividing my time, my divided attention like the Civic. And yeah. So here's the deal with the streams going forward. I'm gonna have to pull back from doing it every day until I'm 100% and and everything is unfucked for the most part, and I'm confident again, and I've got my videos and my backlog up to speed. That's the other thing. I'm going to take the time. I'm still going to keep this time slot, but this is going to be reserved when I'm not streaming. It will at least be reserved for working on videos and actually committing to working on them, and at least showing up to that and being like, okay, can we at least just do one clip? Sometimes, like right now, there's times where I was motivated, I was on for like 4 hours. And there's times today where it's like, I'm done before I even begin. And it pisses me off. I don't like it any more than you guys do, but that's how it is. That's just how things are. So, yeah. But I'm going to be working on Stellaris. There's another game that I'm sorry, guys. I need to go ahead. Oh, let's just there. We'll put that up, and I'll just quit. I was really hoping that this was not going to happen, guys. All right. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's get out of self-pity mode, right? So, hey, at least I was able to send, as far as I know, send the video. Yes, that leads me to the video. Okay, members only. I want to make this clear with you guys. I do not intend to ever, unless I have a damn good reason, and when I do, I will let you guys know at the public level why I'm doing it. If I ever do it, which I don't foresee myself doing it, have member videos up for longer than a couple days for my main videos, right? The videos that my public viewers are expecting. Now, I will have member-only videos that will be up for a while for only members because that was part of their package. That's not the same. What I mean is, for example, when I release the next Stellaris chapter soon, I am going to put that on members first, but only for a couple days. So, I can't guarantee you exactly when, how long, the gap is there, but at least be a day or two that my members will have the privilege of looking at it before anybody else does as a thank you to, their added support. I think that's reasonable. Now, if you guys want to grab your pitchforks over that, understood, please leave a comment, message received, and we'll work on that, and I'll try to find another solution if it comes to it. But I think you guys are going to be okay with it. Or else I wouldn't have done it. So, but if you are really pissed about that, let me know, and I'll see if there's something I can do. But I feel like I definitely, especially being inconsistent with the content lately or less consistent this month than I was, I think my members deserve a little something more for what they're giving me because let's face it, man. These are tough times, and I don't expect anybody to fork over anything to me unless they think I deserve it. And that's I don't e-beg. I do not like doing that. I don't like the concept of that. It's like, if you think I'm doing good work, you'll throw money at me if you want to do that. And there's people that want to do that. And I have done it. There was a guy, I did a super chat a little bit ago that one of my favorite Warhammer lore tubers, who is a little lesser known, he's not like Luton or any of the really big hitters, right? For those of you that follow Warhammer 40K lore, yes, I am part of the Sleep Club. I am. Long live the Sleep Club. Anyway, but there's another channel that I like a lot, called 40K Theories, and I actually got on there and actually got to have a small back and forth with the lead creator himself, and that was very nice. And so I grabbed my 20, I shut up and take my money. I did that because I liked the guy. I loved his work in TTS. Those of you that know this guy, I liked his work in TTS. I liked that show too. And not to mention, he took the time out of his busy schedule to just say hi to me. I mean, shit. Senpai noticed me. I love it. Yeah, I'll simp over that. I dare say that word, right? I'll do it. I'll fanboy over that, I guess is the right word. I gotta be careful with that other word. But yeah, I mean, I'll do it. No shame. So it's just that's my attitude anyway. I don't when I get them, I get them. I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on good content. That's the bat phone, the real